Let's be honest, we never expected it to go 8 whole races without hearing this. And yet, he still leads the Drivers' Championship by over 50 points. Now that we've established that it's the end of Red Bull's Constructors' dominance, let's focus on any sliver of hope remaining for Max to still win his 4th Drivers' Championship in a row. Against any possible threats, which includes Norris, but also to a slight extent, how can Max still defend his title? But for now, let's assume that Norris is the only threat to Verstappen. Going forward in every race, Norris would need to outscore Max by 8 points to take lead. 8 points every race may not sound like much, but for context, if Norris won every race and Max was P2, he would not make that margin. Hence meaning Norris cannot make a single mistake in any of these last 6 races, including Q3 exit like in back. Just one mistake and that's his championship hopes over. It would also mean that McLaren needs to build the most competitive car for the rest of the season and keep it consistently above the rest of the field like it was in Singapore, 25 seconds ahead of Verstappen. But also it means that Norris cannot bottle any of his race starts, and luckily he didn't do that in Singapore.
2 days later, Norris on pole sitter is down to P4.
For McLaren to do this for not just one race, but every other race left in the season, there are 2 factors that are going to probably stop. The first problem they have is that they're not always hugely dominant. Sometimes Ferrari and Mercedes have the strongest car. While the McLaren is definitely the quickest in terms of pace, we've seen the Ferrari be extremely strong around slow speed corners. I think, as we can see from the circuits here, McLaren will just about make it in Circuit of the Americas, the Texas circuit, and probably in Las Vegas, where pace is key. But in Interlagos, they might struggle, with the Ferrari being especially strong around corners like those. Similar to ones in Monaco, where they absolutely dominated the rest of the field. I mean, Red Bull doesn't seem great now, and we've seen that because they've had to cancel a livery for Singapore and Austin in order to ensure maximum performance from the car, showing how desperate they really are. We saw Norris have a huge lock-up in Singapore, which could have cost his race.
No way!
However, because of his 25-second lead, given the pace of the car, he managed to get away with it. If he's in a battle for the win and he were to do that, it's his race over. Small mistakes like that will definitely cost him his championship because it's come so close. Now, to be fair, at the time of scripting this video, it was before the Singapore Grand Prix. So I had originally decided to include a little bit of Leclerc and how he could face Norris right now. Looking at the pace of that McLaren and looking at the last circuits we have left, I don't think Leclerc will be an honest contender for the top 2 steps of the Drivers' Championship. It's really unfortunate because as a Ferrari fan this year, I would have loved to see Leclerc on the top step or maybe even P2, but I think Red Bull and McLaren just have a faster car, and that gap was 19 points, which is why I decided to put a little bit when I was scripting this video before the Singapore Grand Prix. But Leclerc came 5th and Norris came 1st. In this race, that gap is hugely widened now, and honestly, I don't think Leclerc will be able to catch up unless Ferrari really cooks something up. That being said, Ferrari are playing more of a constructor's game than a driver's game right now. As Carlos Sainz said, he did whatever it took necessary at the Singapore Grand Prix in hopes that he won't cause any trouble for the constructors, so I don't think Leclerc is an honest threat after watching that race. This is really awkward now because when I was scripting this video, I decided to add a little conclusion where I would predict what the Drivers' Championship would end up being. My top pick was actually Max Verstappen winning the Drivers' Championship, which I still believe, but I put Leclerc in 2nd. Thinking Ferrari might actually... Okay, it was just Ferrari delusion, to be honest, but he was close, 19 points. Piastri isn't doing enough to overtake Leclerc, and the top 3 of the Drivers' Championship will definitely be, in my opinion, Verstappen, Norris, then Leclerc. I don't think Norris is doing enough as well to overtake Verstappen by the end of the season. He needs to outscore him by 8 points every single time. If Verstappen gets 1 win, it's practically finished for Norris. Without a newly designed car in 2025 and many structural changes, including the departure of Jonathan Wheatley, I think it's the end of Verstappen's dominance for now. Perhaps next year we can see a Ferrari win, which would be amazing. And with Hamilton in that car, it is truly possible before the engine regulations. McLaren win, if Zach Brown and Andrea Stella learn from the mistakes they made this year, then we definitely could be seeing Norris win the next Drivers' Championship and the team with the next Constructors. As much as I don't like Piastri for the Sainz Piastri related incidents, I must say he sometimes has an incredible drive and will definitely help the team accelerate to that Constructors' Championship. Red Bull was to keep Perez, then they're definitely not coming that near that anytime soon. Or a Mercedes win, because at the end of the day, Toto has shown he can build an incredible car. After Red Bull's huge failure this year, Verstappen probably won't have much faith in the team. But yeah, I mean, next year's championship is the last one with these regulations, and then we're going to be seeing the 2026 race. At first I thought it could be Audi who takes home the victory. After they announced Benasco, I'm not sure that's the case anymore. I'm still left with scars from 2021. But
the rear left for Carlos Sainz.
No.
And it's so tight down there in that pit lane.
Yeah, he's
that will definitely be an exciting season. Thank you so much for watching Chili. I hope you like the new name. It's a bit of inspiration from this guy over here. As you can see down below, our newly announced channel perks are a great way to support the channel and motivate me. We reciprocate to you, giving me some unbelievable perks as part of the channel to host you. I feel so sad now because if you can look at my script, I wrote there, you could probably not see it, but I wrote that you give me £10 if Carlos wins Singapore again.
And someone's gone off at the final corner and it's Carlos Sainz.
For you Red Bull fans, my next video is also Red Bull related. Thank you so much for watching once again. I'm Ayan, this is Chili, and I will see you in that video.